My name is Monty Corbell, and today I will be discussing Von Helton's Morning Coffee 345. So, Morning Coffee 345 started out with the Honorable Von Helton telling us that he noticed the number 333, which he indicates is an angel number. And then later that afternoon, or the next day, he saw the number 222, which is also an angel number. So, what this is telling us is the angels of creation, and this is coming from freedom religion, the angels of freedom religion, or angels of creation, are sending the Honorable Von Helton a sign that they are looking out for him and something is coming. Now, Von Helton is unsure on whether or not this is something that is good. He's hoping that this is something that is good that is coming to him, but it could be something bad. But this is the angels of creation's way to communicate with the Honorable Von Helton. So today's discussion starts out with Von Helton, Mr. Von Helton, talking about our Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance. And J.D. Vance made some remarks about a group of people that practice 7th century ideology, and they are making their way into Europe. And this is something that Von Helton has been noticing and also warning about for years. He used to have a series on YouTube, and this series was warning about this group with this 7th century ideology coming into Europe and potentially having a mismatch of ideas and customs. And unfortunately, what this resulted in was Google, who owns YouTube, removing this series from the website. And so he brought this to the attention of Jack Posobiec, who is a political commentator of our time, and basically said, hey, because my series was removed that was warning Europe of this group that was coming to Europe, women of Europe were, they experienced violence and sometimes to a sexual degree. And basically, this is of the fault of YouTube because Von Helton's message was unable to get across to not only uh, the men who suffered from these ideologies, the women who greatly suffered from the ideologies, but from the people, the leaders in Europe that could have prevented this type of thing to occur. And so, uh, what Von Helton points out, the Honorable Von Helton, he points out that since the beginning of time in history, this type of thing was not occurring because there were people who would rise up and stop this group with the 7th century ideology from coming into Europe and doing these heinous things. And these people that would rise up are Vlad the Impaler, Catherine the Great, William the Conqueror. And now, another thing that Von Helton would like to acknowledge is that this group of people, part of their practices is they practice something called altikia, which is a practice where they are taught to lie to people that are not of their own group. And therefore, this hurts their ability to be trusted. So, this puts into question, how can we trust people who are taught from an early age and taught continuously this ideology where it is okay to lie in the face of people who are not of your own group? Because that does take away from the assimilation of these people ever being possible because the trustworthiness is not there. So there's just always going to be automatically an incompatibility. Now, another thing that the Honorable Von Helton teaches us in his guidance today in Morning Coffee is that the prophet of this group it was a descendant of pagans. His parents were pagans, and they believed in 345 gods or 350 deities. But their family, they went down a darker path, and they chose to believe in a chief deity, um, the uh, the greatest of gods, as they put it, and this was Hubal, which maybe in some customs could be considered a demon, a demonic figure. And so this is something that should be concerning to us all because there is a group of people who believe in this 7th century ideologies with who they worship, could be seen as demonic, deity of a darker path. And they believe that this is the greatest of all gods, the chief god. And so this is also concerning when it comes to considering the potential for assimilation. So Von Helton was rehashing these ideas, and this is something that he was trying to get the attention from Jack Posobiec for a while now. And since this is something that J.D. Vance had remarked on recently, Von Helton thought it was time to get the attention of Jack Posobiec once more. And the Honorable Von Helton woke up yesterday morning. He logs into Truth Social and he sees that Jack Posobiec had reposted an article from the Post Millennial. He had reposted this article on Truth Social. And what the article states is a new study shows that Google has complied with censorship requests from China, Russia, and authoritarian regimes since at least 2011 to scrub records of public domains. And so this was an indicator for the Honorable Von Helton that Jack Posobiec is seeing Von Helton and is looking into these issues that Von Helton is pointing out and is discovering that what Von Helton is trying to express is actually true. That YouTube and Google, who owns YouTube, is engaging in this censorship and these practices. And this is absolutely something that should be looked under a microscope with. Now, what Von Helton suggests is that we need to repeal the Act of 1871, which established the District of Columbia, which is today known as Washington, D.C., and also the Act of 1913, which established the Federal Reserve. And both of these acts gave globalists control of our government in the United States and also our money. And both of these acts were unconstitutional. What Von Helton goes on to describe and explain is that once we revoke these acts, the Act of 1871 and the Act of 1913, this will slingshot us back to 1776 in a nanosecond. This is a quote from the Honorable Von Helton, that as a country, we will become essentially brand new once more without the intervention of globalists. Now, the great Von Helton, the Honorable Von Helton, in his guidance, he teaches us one last thing as he closes out his morning coffee. As Doge investigates the IRS, this is the Department of Government Efficiency established by Elon Musk. They are investigating the IRS currently as I am making this video. And Doge should investigate Google and YouTube. This is Von Helton's suggestion for Doge. After the investigation of the IRS, maybe Doge should look into YouTube and Google. And what they should be investigating for is waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, Von Helton's personal story will show plenty of those things, especially abuse. He notes that his parents are dead, his wife was driven insane, his kids were illegally adopted out, and his inheritance were stolen. Now, these are all things that are in result of trolls on the YouTube platform. These are people who target individuals for means of entertainment. And these trolls were also responsible for a member of the YouTube community, G-Man, getting terminated from 3 jobs. They tried to kill a member named Cyrax. They tried to kill Emo Howling Wolf with a SWAT team. They were successful in the SWAT, but thankfully Emo Howling Wolf did not lose his life in that event. Google and YouTube support and encourage these people. They're not stopping, they're not stopping nor shutting them down. So this is something that absolutely needs to be addressed. And if Doge were to look into this, they would confirm that yes, waste and abuse are taking place. So this wraps up my discussion of Morning Coffee by Von Helton. The number for this morning coffee is 345.